allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the village board meeting of May 24th. Roll call, please.
Caperos.
Here.
Possession.
Here.
Thierry.
Here.
Stacy.
Here.
Kraus.
Here.
In your packet, you have the minutes of the previous meeting of May 10th. Does anybody have any changes? Nobody has any changes. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Caperos.
Yes.
Possession.
Yes.
Thierry.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Do we have a village clerk's report? There's no report. I'm like, I see nothing. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the board? My report. The first thing is discussing protocols for mask wearing at board meetings. The CDC says if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. The Department of Public Health says if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. You guys want to go maskless at the meetings? I don't see any reason to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I'm vaccinated.
Yep, me too. So,
Dan?
I think in an ideal world, I would choose to keep it, just since we have a lot of public that, maybe might feel more comfortable attending, and we have staff that show up as part of their job duties. But I personally am, willing to also forgo it,
I don't object to not wearing it, but like I said, I'd probably agree with Ben. If somebody asked me to wear it, I, don't mind. I'm open.
okay. Well, and, we can put it as, you can leave it off if you're vaccinated. If you're uncomfortable, you can put it on again,
Are the members of the public, if you all been vaccinated, just curious? No? Okay.
But don't care.
We just don't want to make anyone in the public feel uncomfortable if we take our masks off. That's why I'm asking this. Is everyone in the public?
Not unless you put your makeup on wrong.
Okay,
Well, I mean,
so it's up to the board what they want to do.
Yeah,
we're not gonna ask every meeting, are we? I mean,
No.
Maybe someone wants to wear.
no,
By all
no.
means wear
And
it.
anyone
Most
who's
of
more
us don't.
comfortable wearing a mask can absolutely
Yeah.
wear a mask. But I think you should, if the CDC says we're okay with taking it off, I think you can take it off if you're comfortable.
Agreed. Okay.
But that's up to you guys. Good with that? Okay.
I'm fine with it.
Is that what you all look like?
It's been a year and a half.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna get better.
All right. I had an unexpired seat, a 2-year seat as a village trustee, and I had 6 people come forward who I didn't even know to talk to me about the possibility of taking that seat. Everybody was excellent candidates. I was thrilled that there were that many people that were willing to step forward and take an interest in the seat. But ultimately, my choice is actually, he's here tonight. I'll introduce him, Joe Giannatti. And if you want to just kind of state your name and tell us a little bit about who you are.
Stand up.
It's up to you.
I'm Joe Giannatti. I moved to Beecher in 2007. 2011 graduate of Beecher High School. Live right here in town, so right on the corner of Miller Route 1. So I decided to ask for the open availability because I felt like I wanted to step up and get involved in what was going on around town. I like where things are, and I'd like to keep them going in the direction that we're going in. So that's about it. And I have a 2-year-old daughter who's very loud right now.
Does someone want to make a motion, or do you want to have some conversation?
I'll go ahead and make a motion approving the appointment of Joe Giannatti for trustee to fill the unexpired term of President Meyer.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Kraus.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Thierry.
Yes.
Possession.
Yes.
Caperos.
Yes.
It's Brad's seat now.
Yeah.
There's a glare, no one can see. Am I in the way here, sure?
Not even here, I know. I was just getting out of the way. Hello there.
because I'm used to
Yeah.
doing that. Okay. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Joseph Giannatti,
having been appointed to the position of trustee
having been appointed to the position of trustee
in the village of Beecher
in the village of Beecher
in the county of Will,
in the county of Will,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the position of trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability. Copy of your oath? Right here. All right, we're all set on this end then. Just putting you right over there.
So,
If you have a chair.
You know she's going over the way.
go ahead.
See you later.
I'm gonna pass out committee assignments.
Congratulations.
Yeah, okay.
Committee assignments. So the next thing is committee assignments for what each trustee, which committee you're gonna serve on. I'll let you look at those for a minute before I ask for a motion. And let me know if my mad typing put too many people on one committee.
You're not asking these new committee chairs to make the reports tonight? You're asking-
No, for the reports for tonight, we have former trustees doing the report, just a minute. We're not gonna put you on the spot like that. Does anyone wish to make a motion approving the committee assignments?
I'll make the motion for
Alright, we have
the
a-
committee assignments out in front of us.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Caprows,
Yes.
Giannatti,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
We had, the Public Safety Committee held some interviews for a new code compliance officer. And the candidate was gonna be here tonight, but did he have to teach a class or something?
Yes, ma'am, he had actually testing, he tried to get out of his class, but fortunately tonight is they're supposed to take their testing equipment.
Okay,
He said he'd be here June 14th of the next board meeting.
so he did come out today, but he was unable to attend the meeting. I believe the chief and trustee Kraus met with him and were happy with him as a candidate.
Yes, we had, I think, 5 scheduled, well, 6 scheduled. 3 showed up. We have 3 show. Actually, not even 3. Like half canceled, or just didn't, like one of the ones that was a phone interview that never got hold of either. But yes, either way, we did an interview. This was, I think, the best candidate, had most qualifications, I think had the best demeanor. Seemed so far like he'd fit in the town. Give him a shot and see.
Well, the name is Thomas Goodrich, and if I could have a motion for, I'm not 100% sure why this is a mayoral appointment instead of a employee, but
That's
we'll
the way
work,
the ordinance
we can work that out later. But if I could have a motion to approve the appointment of Thomas Goodrich as a code enforcement officer, or code compliance officer.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second, that was, trustee Stewart, for a second. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Kraus,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Giannatti,
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
Okay, the bank needs the minutes of the meeting to reflect approval of signatures on village accounts. as a formality. It's typically village president, treasurer, and the chair and co-chair of finance. Some of us are already on those signature cards, but we have to make sure everything is up to date. So would someone like to make that motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion approving the signatures at First Community Bank for all village accounts.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Caprows,
Yes.
Giannatti,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
The second to the last item, consider methods for conducting strategic planning for the period of 2021 to 2025. 4 years ago, usually with every new mayor, we do a strategic planning session. So everybody gets together. Generally, Bob Barber kind of puts together a questionnaire for everyone to fill out to get an idea of where you want the village to be headed, what changes you want made, what your view is for the future. It's free for Bob Barber to do it. He has led these sessions many times. There's also a possibility to have a third-party consultant come in, someone who is unfamiliar with us or the town and can conduct a session as a complete outsider that doesn't have pre-existing knowledge of how things were in the past. So there's something to be said about both. We've received $7,500 in FEMA funding this year, which is not budgeted for expenses incurred last year and could be used for this purpose. We considered it in 2017, it was $5,950 back then. But either way, it can be done. So basically, what is your pleasure?
Those FEMA funds, if we don't spend it there, can we spend it other places, or is it just that?
No, you can spend it, it's clean money. I just offer it as an alternative because I don't mind doing it, I can actively participate in discussion, but sometimes you end up with a better product if you have an outside third party do the
So,
strategic plan.
I'd almost disagree with you on that. I'd like to see you do it again. I think you did a really good job. Last time this was done, we had some new board members come in, and some things were brought up that, you know, the board wanted to see done, and we actually accomplished them. Some of the things that I specifically remember was talks about creating economic incentives for downtown. Talks for residential incentives, which were accomplished. The creation of a TIF district,
The board
which was
wants-
accomplished. Yes,
Board-
and those are things that came up and the board wanted. I think with you doing it, especially now, I think it's essential that we do it, especially with so many new board members, to get an idea as to what the direction that this board wants to go, and some of the things that, you know, we'd like to accomplish, especially with a new mayor. Here are some of the things that she'd like to accomplish over those 4 years, and us being there to, you know, help her along the way with that. And I think with you doing it, rather than you going to a plan, us telling you firsthand what we want to accomplish over those next few years is only gonna help us as you do the 5-year financial plans, budgeting year to year, of helping us accomplish all as a team. So to bring in a third party that really doesn't know anything about the town, and as we discussed, you know, last time, I mean, one of the things that came up was us pursuing possibly more senior living options and stuff in town. I know we made some attempts at that. This board may have a different opinion, but I think with you involved in the process and you hearing it directly, I think it's gonna be easier for us to implement it rather than bring a third party in and pay money to have somebody give us an opinion as to no idea about the town, what land is available for different things if we do decide to do it. You know, some of the things
I
like a
figured-
new
I
water
figured you'd
tower
say
and
that,
stuff
John.
like that.
Because
So,
4 years ago, you said the same thing,
Yeah.
because we do this every 4 years, it's
Yeah.
probably your third one.
yeah, this will be my third one.
Well, how long would it, I mean, isn't that the point of them doing it, to find out how much land we have and residential?
No, we got that. We got the comprehensive plan that Tuska did not that long ago.
This is purely a strategic plan for the
This
board.
is just, yeah, what do we want to accomplish?
Yeah.
This, remember, Todd, with the survey, and we all had a rank like 1 through 10,
Yeah.
what's most important to us, and, I mean, Bob really does a good thing, and, you know, and it was interesting to hear everybody's, I mean, because I don't think any of us had it absolutely identical when we did our rankings, what we felt
No.
was most important to,
I just think the collective what is different than what individually we thought.
yeah.
And that's the purpose of it. We need a collective decision.
Yeah, and I
So we can
mean,
all buy into it.
I like the idea of keeping it in-house, because like you said, you know what we want, what we need, what we have, you know, what the past desires are, what some of the future desires are. I sort of like having a third party to look at it objectively, maybe have a couple different ideas, but, I mean, how long does this take for a third party to do it?
A third party is probably gonna be longer meetings. It might be a Saturday, you start at 8 in the morning and go all the way to 3, 4 in the afternoon.
That means it's
one
gonna take them
day.
3 months to prepare a report, 3, 4, 5 months.
That I don't know. How I'm planning on doing it, and how I've done it in the past, is we have a regular board meeting first, then we go to workshop.
Yeah, afterwards.
And we spend a couple hours after, or 1 hour after every meeting through the summer and the fall to get it done. And usually by November, we have it done. But it takes a while. We gotta get a survey first, an anonymous survey. You'll get a survey from me. You'll be asked to submit it anonymously, then I compile the results. And then we basically go off that survey with the discussion, you know. And you're right, I can ask the tough questions, because I know the community, an outside consultant, are gonna ask you the canned questions,
Yeah,
that they ask in every
they're
community.
gonna have a cookie cutter.
Right.
Yeah,
But you might be more candid with that process than with me, I don't know, but it's up to you guys.
And I think they can tell you what they want or what may be trending, but you would be the one ultimately that would know what would work.
If
And
it's
it
feasible or
works.
not.
Right.
But, you know, and the other thing is too, is, right, like, if we do this in-house, right, let's see what comes of it. And if we want a second opinion, then you can contract somebody else to come in and do it again in a few months, right? Let's give this a shot. I mean, like I said, this is, a lot of new faces around here. I mean, let's hear what everybody's, ideas are and goals are and, so, it's gonna take a team to get anything accomplished, so, we gotta know what everyone's thoughts are to do that, so.
I just
I
have
think
to
it'd be a good first step.
I just haven't usually give you 2 options, you know, on what you want.
Yeah.
And I'll be sitting out there when we do it, not here, I'll be sitting right there.
Mhm.
In-house?
So, sounds like,
I don't think we need a vote, is that what
In-house?
everyone
No.
wants to do
No.
in-house?
I agree.
Yeah.
okay.
Expect to get a survey in the next month or 2 that you'll have to fill out.
I'm gonna request closed session at the end of the meeting to discuss other appointments and employment agreements. And there won't be any action taken tonight, there won't be any more appointments tonight, it's just things we're gonna talk about in closed session. Great. Finance and Administration, trustee Kaporis.
Consider a resolution supporting restoring local government distributive fund revenues, LGDF. The governor's proposed budget called for reducing our local income tax revenue by 10% and keeping it for the state budget. We're currently receive 6%, and the state OMB wish to reduce this to 5%. We're asking that it be restored to the full 10%, which is what it was established as, from the time of inception until 1991 when it was reduced. There's an enclosed resolution in your packet. So, resolution number?
2021-09.
So I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion approving resolution 2021-09, supporting restoring LGDF funds.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, roll call please.
Caprost,
Yes.
Giannatti,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Residential account electric aggregation update, our current agreement with Constellation, our supplier runs out on October 1st. ComEd rates are now lower than the long-term supply rates and are projected to drop even lower over time. A new aggregation program has emerged, which locks residents into the variable ComEd rate over time, but the green energy carbon credits, which ComEd produces on behalf of the residents, is provided by the village to a supplier for cash value for trade on the open market. These are federal incentives to produce green energy, and the village only acts as a conduit for the transfer. The village will be obtaining bids for this program through NIMEC and IMEC, our electrical co-op, and the director of our co-op. David Hoover will be at the next meeting in June to present the program and the bid results for the board to discuss and make a decision. The residents will continue to pay whatever the ComEd rate will be and will not be locked into a price. So that's basically just an update. We'll hear what the guy has to say the next meeting. Village to receive approximately $546,000 in federal COVID fiscal recovery funds. These payments will come in 2 equal distributions, half in June. I thought it was May,
Actually, it's gonna be July now.
maybe July.
Yeah.
So it started
I
May,
just
now
found
it's
out
June,
Saturday
now
it's
it's
gonna be
July. And the other half, which was supposed to be May of
Probably be-
22,
be
probably
July
July
of
of 22. The other half in the following year. We'll place this funding in escrow. It will only be able to be spent upon board approval, and within the guidelines which are still to be drawn up. There is some guidance that has been released, which is enclosed for your review. One thing that we know for sure is water and sewer infrastructure improvements are eligible projects. The rest of it's still kind of fuzzy, there's not a lot. I mean, we're gonna place that in escrow. I know there was some talks. We'll probably, as we start this, we're probably gonna have committee meetings. I'm sure all the committee chairs will start to call some meetings. So Trustee Stacy, I'll get with you after tonight, find out your availability and stuff, and we'll have a committee meeting. We'll go over some stuff. I know there's a couple of escrow funds we were talking about possibly combining a couple of them, so that way there's an additional escrow fund with a zero balance that we would deposit this in. But we can kind of, the committee meeting, I can kind of bring you up to speed on a lot of other stuff and where we're at, and kind of touch on this at that time, so. Actuarial valuation of post-employment benefits
John,
close.
Is there a use-by date on that funds?
December 31st of '24. So this would be a perfect topic also for strategic planning. But I have a feeling at the end of the day, it's probably gonna be used for water. Because that's the only one that is pure that they want to spend. There could be some other options, but that's the safety net. So if not anything else, it'll be on water.
Well, I also thought I read something about being able to replace lost public sector revenue, and that in that situation, you were granted a lot more leeway about
Yes.
how you use it.
It's in the aggregate though. And Beecher was a unique situation. We cut $235,000 out of our general fund, and guess what? Our revenues were exactly the same in both years. So we didn't probably at the end of the day have to cut all that money. We didn't know going into the pandemic. But I'm not seeing, in other words, I can't just take video gaming revenue from this COVID grant. They want you to look at your revenue in aggregate, property tax, income tax, sales tax, gaming tax, everything combined. Compare that 12-month period from the prior 12-month period, and we're only about $300 difference. It's amazing. So lost revenue, I can't use it for that, because we really didn't have lost revenue.
And there's a lot in there too, where there is some discussion about creating jobs with that public sector. So if you do, besides public, an infrastructure improvement, an improvement to a park or something else where you're creating work, it appears that there could be some of that. I mean, we'll wait for some more guidelines to come out, but.
We need guidance. Well, one of the projects we've had on the books is an LED sign out in front of the building here. If we can get that tagged with letting people know about vaccinations and things like that, we might be able to get something like that funded. It's a project on our long-term goal.
I mean, there was a lot of things that have been talked about, right? But let's get the check on July 1st.
That's why I said we got time.
You know what I mean?
August,
Yeah.
September.
Right.
Proof's in the pudding. Let's see a check that actually gets deposited somewhere before we truly figure out a way to spend it. Okay, actuarial evaluation of post-employment benefits. Enclosed the latest evaluation for our audit. We do not offer any post-employment benefits at the village expense, but the fact that we are, do allow retirees to maintain coverage at their full, at their cost, fully paid for by them, could affect our rates over the 36-year horizon. We get a liability charge in our audit for that. So this is a study that kind of comes with that number, but it's just for your review. That concludes the report.
Public Buildings and Properties, Parks and Recreation Committee, Trustee Kraus.
Thank you. Splash pad update. Equipment has been ordered and bid specifications are being drawn up as we speak. It's going to take a little longer to lay out the job. And we figured since the supplier wants to include the shop drawings of the equipment and the bid specifications. We're hoping to go to bid in mid-June with the mid-September completion date. Is that still accurate, those dates?
Yeah, no, did he meet with you out there?
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning to lay out the job?
Yeah.
Okay.
So September, sometime September completion.
We're gonna hope, yeah, we're gonna push.
Public Works is laying out the install of the service connection and an update will be provided. Anything else?
Just I'm meeting with them on Wednesday and we'll go from there.
Consider a motion declaring Shortel 230 phone system surplus property. Village needs to sell its old phone system. Transition now complete. 20 handsets, 6 button boxes, and a server, which is good enough for a medium-sized office. We expect $500 for the system. So I'd like to make a motion declaring Shortel 230 phone system surplus property.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Caprows,
Yes.
Giannatti,
Yes.
Musician,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes, that's all I have.
Planning, Building, and Zoning Committee, trustee session.
So, no big update, the May meeting has been canceled, and the next regularly scheduled meeting, will be Thursday, June 24th.
Public Safety Committee, trustee Kraus.
Thank you. Full-time officer hiring update, Chief Bob?
So there was 7 people left on our list. I made contact with them to see if they're still interested. There's 3 people that I was able to get contact with that are still interested. The 4th person is, I called him twice, left messages, and I sent him an email. There's no response, but at least 3 out of the 7 are interested, and we are planning on going forward and start the background checks on the first person.
So the first person, you would provide a conditional offer of employment based on the psych in the background, correct?
Psych, background, poly,
And medical.
medical, yep,
Once all the background's done, then they get the conditional offer, right?
correct,
Okay, after the background.
yeah.
When's that gonna start?
It's already started.
Okay. When's the next academy?
That's the problem. So there's 7 academies in our state. There's a brand new one. With COVID, they numbered the seats in half. I'm assuming that now people are getting vaccinated, they'll open it back up to full, but the ones that are in session actually started like May 1st, most of them. So we're looking at probably a September date. I'm just trying to get them in. But right now, like I said, half the class, usually the class is between 40, 50, and some of the more, some of the bigger classes, and they're cutting it down to 20, 25 people.
Can the individual be FTO part of that or not?
He can,
He can't.
yes.
How long do they have on the street before it's at the academy?
I
Is it a year?
believe it's a year.
Because if they don't start till September, 6 months from then is when they'd be on the street normally. So we're looking at next year to get somebody on the street.
Quite possibly.
Have we locked the spot in with an academy?
You cannot. Years ago, you used to be able to reserve a seat. So academies got smart because people were canceling. You have to do a Form E, which means you have to hire the person before they'll give you an academy spot.
Is there spots, I guess is there academies going now that if we got this person ready to go, something popped up, something opened up, we can get them in sooner?
Like a waiting list?
Or just, yeah, I mean, or just calling around saying, hey, we got someone ready to go.
There's waiting lists right now.
Okay, so are we on a waiting list?
We are not.
Can we get on a waiting list?
I think we have to do a Form E, which means we have to hire a person in order to do a Form E. That's what the Illinois Training Standards Board. I'll double check and I'll get back to you, but that's the way I understand it.
So we need to get the Form E, is what you're saying,
Correct.
to get the ball.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we need to get going. This budget was approved a month ago. The first was 23 days ago. I mean, we need to get this going. If we need to get on a waiting list, or if we can get on several or whatever.
Can we send 2 people? What happens, I mean, are we gonna, I mean, I don't wanna,
You know, we have 2 people to hire.
no, but I'm saying,
Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna send, okay, so let's say we send 1 person for the psych and do all the testing and he fails. Now we've gotta go to the next step and can we do backgrounds on 2 people?
Yeah, we'll probably, we'll do all 3 available, in case there is a, you lose that candidate. But unfortunately, there is a waiting list, so if you lose that person, you might not get that seat back. That's how tight it is. The other way to do it, there's a part-time academy, but it's 6 months long. So we can hire them under a part-time status, then you send them downstate for a 2-week conversion class, and you can be certified full-time that way also.
That's the Saturday one?
No, that's, yeah, Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's like 1 week in a month or something like that? Is that what it
I
is?
think it's like the old Star.
Yeah, I think it's every other, yeah, star program.
So, are any of them,
Certified?
well, yeah, or working in any capacity, part-time or anything?
So one,
Are any of them police officers in any form yet?
one's corrections, so probably
No.
not, so no.
No.
And one's probation, so no.
So my next question is, what happens if they fail the academy? Or they get to the academy and halfway through they say, this ain't for me?
Be a problem.
That happens.
It does happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to predict that, I get it.
Back to the drawing board, go to the next person in line. Wait for the next academy. Can't start somebody in the middle of the academy. You know what I mean?
Theoretically, you could get their 3-month FTO out of the way, which would be what, July, August, or June, July, August. Send them in September.
Yep.
Do the academy September, October, November, when they come back, probably at least a little time on the street, an FTO or something, or a shadow phase.
Well, the academy right now is 520 hours. That's, so they upped it quite a lot for that, and then
I'm not
our
gonna- How many
FTO,
weeks is that? I'm not gonna do math that quick. How long is that? Because it was 3 months.
yeah, it's like 3.5 months,
Okay.
yeah. You know, and that's how we got one of our officers, I'm not gonna say who it is, but he went to the academy, had an issue, we had to send him back to the academy, back again. Because you can't just start where you left off, it's like, you gotta send him back through.
Yeah, you can't pick up where you left off.
Right.
I mean, I'd say do the backgrounds, whatever you gotta do in all 3, and we'll go from there.
Get them to Form E.
Yep.
Any questions on that? Consider a resolution changing the name of a portion of the street in Nantucket Cove subdivision due to an address conflict. Not gonna read this whole thing, but basically, in Nantucket Cove, Stonington, it's a backward C, so the north end of it, and there's a map in here at the back, the highlighted portion is the one we're gonna change. The south portion of it and the north portion of it share the same addresses. So it was caught, just by what the 911 center.
No, it was actually caught by a review of the property tax bills on that street when the ownership changed. And I called 911 and they said, oh yeah, that's Steuben Avenue. I said, well, no one here in the village knows it's called that. So we did research and sure enough, the county recognizes it as Steuben and we recognize it as Stonington.
Yeah, it was.
So we do have to fix it because there is an address conflict. Because the street's a backward C, so the 300 block of Stonington up here and the 300 block down here be the same name. And that's not good for first responders, so we want to change the bottom half to Steuben. Matt would have to put up 1 pole and a sign, we'd use Nantucket Cove Vesco for that, and this issue goes away.
So yeah, we don't get the name of the street, it's already named, I already asked. I was like, oh, we gotta change the name of a street, I go, I get to name a street, he's like, no. Should've went with that. So anyways,
The problem goes away for the village, but what about the residents?
There's no one living on the street.
Yeah,
Nobody's on that side?
Yep. In fact, the new builder, the guy that bought the property, brought this to my attention. He says, why does my tax bill say Steuben and the street name says Stonington? So I did some research, I go, fine, the guy's right, you know.
Do it now.
So the property did sell.
maybe a name change will spur some development, who knows. So anyways, resolution number?
2021-10.
So, resolution 2021-10, changing the name of a portion of the street in Nantucket Cove subdivision to Steuben.
You don't have to live on that street.
I don't.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion? Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Giannatti,
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Public Works Committee, Trustee Kaporis.
Route 1 resurfacing project update. Bob, I mean,
Yep, we have a schedule, and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, they are grinding south of Beecher right now, from the county line to Indiana Avenue, and then they're gonna go back the other way.
Correct.
They have to wait for the cement work to be done in town before they begin the asphalt work. So it's gonna be a issue for several weeks here. Once they get the new layer down up to Indiana Avenue, then they might start north of town and do that piece, and you might be the last piece that they do, depending on when the cement work gets done. But they're working up the east side now, and they'll come back on the west side. That's my understanding, is that correct?
Yeah, I talked to the construction guys today, and that's what they said, that they were definitely gonna keep 2 lanes open in town here,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, it's been nice. Cement work looks good, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, that was not part of the original project when I was involved in the phase 1. I don't know who decided that they're gonna do it, but I'm very happy that they are, because it wouldn't have got done any other way.
Quiet zone update, we have a targeted, a joint meeting with the Federal Railroad Administration for Tuesday, July 13th. By this time, all 7 railroads should have signed off on the improvements. Once the FRA, the Federal Railroad Administration, approves their inspection, the quiet zone will be implemented at that time. Gould Street water main update, we now have everything we need from the state, but our railroad permit has expired. Railroad wants us to install the main down the middle of Indiana Avenue, rather than where it's at now, which would require a new county permit, meeting of all the parties, would be required to resolve this. That's where we're at right now, waiting on that. Lead service line program update, we're just waiting on the IEPA approval of the loan. The bid's been approved, we did that last month or month prior. The bid is good until July 20th, 2021. The loan should be in place by then. Bob, have we spoken to?
The IEPA is, they have the money, they have the funding, the legal department is overwhelmed, and the legal department has to sign off on the loan. That's what we're waiting for right now.
Okay.
But everything else has been done.
If it's not, which I understand it should be, but things can happen. If we spoke to Robinson, to my buddy, and do we know if Brant will extend their bid price? Is that gonna be an issue with the IEPA?
I think we should have everything in order by July 20th. If by June 14th board meeting we don't, then I'll start panicking a little bit. But right now I'm not panicking. That gives them 3 more weeks yet to get it done.
Status of large dump truck repairs, at our budget workshop there in the Public Works garage. We're advised of the large dumps being down. Matt, you are waiting on the fiscal year to begin. You got an update on the trucks, pal?
Yeah, one of the trucks is up and running. Jones Parts actually came out to our shop to do the repair to save us on a tow bill. And the 95 International was up and running, and I was driving it on Friday, and it decided not to start again after lunch. So I ordered new batteries for it today, and they should be here tomorrow. And I'm hoping that that'll be a cheap fix, but we shall see. We'll see.
Capital items update, at the last minute, the General Assembly put out a request for capital items and gave the municipality 1 hour to respond. That was through lobbyists at South Suburban Mayors and Managers, if I remember. Basically, if you had nothing, you were out. Village, Bob was able to react, quickly put together a list. We'll see if anything comes of it. We've done this numerous times before, and
You have to play the game.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
don't play, you don't get anything out of it.
Bob, was that a literal 1 hour?
Yeah.
yeah.
They'll call you on Friday at 3 o'clock and say, General Assembly's going to the floor with a capital bill. Give us your projects right now. That's just the way it works down there.
Is that what this list is back here?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Memorial Day weekend is when they'll vote on the budget. And it'll be on Sunday night at 2 in the morning, and you won't know about it till you wake up Monday morning and see it on TV. That's just the way they do it.
Well, in that case, thanks for getting it turned around on
Yeah.
like a dime.
But, you know, a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, nothing happens. But
Yeah.
you gotta throw a project out there. And while we're at that, John, we changed legislative districts. We're now in Thaddeus Jones's House District, and we're in Napoleon Harris's Senate District, under the new maps, as of today. So we have a change in, and if you know, Thaddeus, he's the mayor of Cal City now.
Yeah. All right. This one, I don't understand. Bob, you gotta explain this. this item to me. Consider a motion waiving bidding requirements for a unique purchase of a used piece of equipment over 25,000.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember when we purchased a used vehicle, we just purchased a used vehicle for the police department, we didn't waive any bidding requirements.
Yeah, we didn't have to for that because it was under 25. That police car was 18.9.
It's a used vehicle, how do you bid that? There's not two identical trucks that are gonna have identical mileage, identical features and everything. Why is this even
Because
I
it's
don't
over
ever
20
remember doing this.
It's over 25,000.
Alright, so this is.
It's over 25, to be safe, we're gonna waive the bidding requirements. In case anyone ever questions it, 3/4 of the board agreed. And that's
We're
right.
gonna go through, literally go through the motion. Consider a motion waiving bidding requirements for a unique purchase of a used piece of equipment for over 25,000. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion waiving bidding requirements for a unique purchase of a used piece of equipment for over $25,000.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Caprows,
Yes.
Giannatti,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Thierry,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Consider a motion authorizing the purchase of a 2011 International 7500 tandem axle dump truck with plow and spreader from Rich Lodwigan. Is that right?
Loaded wagon.
Lodewagon. In the amount not to exceed $61,000 contingent on diesel mechanic approval and of the purchase and $6,000 for road ready preparation. There's pictures of it enclosed. It looks like a good truck. Again, you know, I don't know if there's anything else to even compare it to that would be identical with mileage and stuff like that. Matt, you wanna just kinda explain to the board, like you told me, you got the guy coming with you?
Yeah, so tomorrow morning, Pat Jones from Jones Parts and Services is going with me. At 10 o'clock, we're gonna meet Rich down there, go through the truck. It's on its second owner. I've talked to the original owner as well. They have all of the maintenance records, all the warranty work, all the recall work, anything like that through International's been done and completed already. So they claim that there's been no issues. Me and Foreman Prattle went down there, I believe Thursday or Friday of last week, drove it, rode smooth, you know, did what it was supposed to. It has a plow, has a spreader, all that stuff already set up on it. So we'll need to do minimal work to actually get it road ready. It's all stainless bed, Wausau plow, which is what some of the other stuff that our big trucks have on them now. Lindco out in Maryville built the truck originally back in 2011, 2012. We do a lot of work with Lindco already, so it's kind of nice to, you know, already have that connection with it. They're used to it, so if we have any issues, they can help us out with it as well. So.
It's got a center auger too, correct? So you don't have to lift the bed.
Right. Yeah. It's got some different features than what we're used to. It's all electronical, which has got its pros and cons. You know, we're used to the hydraulics, but we'll see how the electronics go. So, but it seems like a good truck.
Yeah, if you price that one brand new at 2021 International, it's the same, about 180.
Yeah.
So and we don't use it enough to justify buying it.
So, and then you got you're asking for the 6,000, which.
Yeah, I mean.
67 is what we had budgeted. So
Correct.
if you're getting to 61, I know you talked about
Yeah.
possibly seeing if we can get them down, maybe even a little bit, but that still leaves you 6,000 to get it road ready.
Yeah. I mean,
so the board knows striping.
Yeah, I mean, our decals, you know, a couple $100, or maybe some new lighting. So some of the officers in the room know, you know, LED lighting have diodes, and some of the diodes on the warning lights are out. So in order to update those and, you know, get it fully up, the two-way CB radios that we use are just under $1,000 with install and stuff like that. So there's some stuff that we need to do, but the truck itself is in pretty good shape. So
Excellent.
What motor is that running?
Max Force 10.
Good deal. Well, good homework on it. So I'll go ahead and make a motion authorizing the purchase of a 2011 International 7500 tandem axle dump truck with plow and spreader in the amount not to exceed $61,000 contingent on mechanic approval of purchase and additional $6,000 for road ready preparations.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Kraus,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Thierry,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Giannatti,
Yes.
Caprows,
Yes. And lastly, also, I'm requesting executive session to discuss personnel and possible pending litigation.
Economic Development and Community Relations Committee, trustee Session.
No report?
All right. Is there any old business to come before the board?
What's this letter we got in front of us?
Yeah, this is, you remember a year ago, Nelson Collins has in escrow with us, $35,000 for the installation of a little lift station and a water line for his 1 acre lot out there. It was a settlement when the developer did not get an easement and ran pipes through his property. He had 20 years to use the money. We gave him a 1-year extension last year. He's asking for another year. It doesn't cost us anything. We're just the custodian of the 35. It's up to you what you want to do. He gave this letter to me, stated the 21st, but I got it this morning, so I couldn't put it on the agenda, so we can't really vote on it, but by consensus. Because technically his escrow runs out June 8th, and we don't have another meeting till the 14th. So we could take formal action next board meeting, but I would need consensus tonight as to what to do.
What does it mean as escrow runs out? If we have to give the money either way, or?
No, it becomes the village's money
Yeah.
technically.
So he had to do
Yeah,
the
sure.
work, he had to do the work or the repairs or fix the stuff, he had 21 years to do it?
No, he wants to build a house on his 1 acre lot, and he's running into material issues right now with the cost of lumber and what have you, and that's his problem.
Is that the one on top of the hill there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. He placed money in there that certain things would be done within 20 years. He's just never done anything with the lot. It's not the village's money. It's just being held there that if anything does go there, that certain things will be done. Just kind of our way of guaranteeing it. So, I mean, like I said, not a penny of ours, one way or another. I mean, I do know what building materials are doing right now, but whatever. I mean, like I said, it just sits in an account and does nothing.
He only collects if he builds a house on
Yes. Yeah, it's because
And he
he-
hasn't built a house on it in 20 years?
No, and that was paid, like Bob said, because a developer had to run, and that was for the,
Reserve?
part of the preserve, the west side,
Yeah.
just west of
it.
our
The developer
girls'
offered to use his
workshop.
property with sanitary force main and water main and did not obtain the proper easements. He just went in and did it. And that's what caused this pending litigation, and the settlement was the village would hold this $35,000 for 20 years, that he could connect to these pipes with that money, but now the 20 years has expired, and he's asking for another year, actually another 2 years, because we gave him a 1-year extension last year. But I know he's running into some serious material cost problems with that house. And
Do it this year, you're gonna have the same conversation next year.
he probably will.
Whatever, it is what it is, I mean, you know what I mean?
Let it ride.
Yeah, let it rip.
Okay. Any new business to come before the board? And we have a motion to adjourn into executive session.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss personnel, pending litigation, and appointments and appointment agreements.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second, roll call. Caprows?
Yes.